Hey guys, welcome back. We're cycling back to the PlayStation 1 theme because I like it. Maybe we'll do another one next time. There's a method to my madness, alright? And we are still waiting for Rebecca to get down the Moonlight Sonata. And there you can see Chris's wait animation, his idle animation. They all have them. I think even in the original games they kind of had them. The other thing was, you'll notice that in these Resident Evil games, you know, this one and Zero, they actually look like law enforcement officers. You know, they hold their gun a certain way, they run a certain way with their weapons. In the original games, they didn't. They just held the gun at their side and stood normally like you or I would, and same thing when they ran. They just kind of held the weapon in their hand. There was no special, stance or anything. They also turned a little bit faster just because it was so, robotic, sort of. Whereas they actually take steps in these games. They take steps to turn their body. So there's that. I also want to make one correction about the, actually the second video, which would be this would be the second time I've corrected myself. Jill actually does start off with her gun when you get to the mansion and you're playing as Jill. So you actually do have a weapon to shoot the first zombie you encounter that's, chomping on Kenneth. You actually do have your gun. It's better to run because, save your ammo and all. You'll get to him later. But yeah, she actually does start off with a gun. Barry does not give her gun. I think I was remembering her giving her something in the hallway, though, which was the lockpick, and he even has that really cheesy line, it might be better if you, the master of unlocking, hang on to this. Of course, they changed that line in this one. They actually had to rewrite a few of the really cheesy lines in this game. I also think I may have gotten it confused with a part later in Jill's game where Barry does in fact give you his Magnum. Surprise, surprise. And if you want the best ending, give it back to him when you're done with it. Although I have heard that his Magnum is the most powerful gun in the game, and you can one-shot the Tyrant with it. If you want the best ending with Jill, give Barry his Magnum back. Plus, if you keep his Magnum, there is a way for you to give him your Magnum, the 357 Magnum, and if you do that, cool, but his Magnum is a 44, and there's no ammo for it in the game, so once you've used up Barry's Magnum, if you gave him your Magnum, you're fucked with that Magnum. You're not going to be able to use it anymore, so there's that. Or you can just be a total bitch and keep both Magnums, but then, Barry won't make it. So there's that. And while we're waiting, let me get one more thing out of the way. Some of you know I've been doing a video with my buddy Nick. We're playing Undertale, doing videos for that. And, it was a little aggravating, so I got back into Bloodborne, because, all that game is killing. I got back into that game because of all of the killing that I was not doing in Undertale. And you know what? Bloodborne is the shit. I love it. I also, the main reason I had stopped playing it was, I was stuck on a boss, Father Gascoigne, to be exact, which ordinarily isn't usually a reason that I stop playing a game. I'll try again until I beat him. But this time I didn't, and because The Witcher 3 came out, like I said, and faced with having to repeatedly fight a boss that was ridiculously hard and grind maybe to level up to be stronger to beat the boss, or play The Witcher, which was immediately more enjoyable and had, more story in one side quest than in the entirety of probably Bloodborne and all the Dark Souls games combined. And then, of course, I didn't even beat The Witcher at the time because Batman Arkham Knight came out. So, yeah, it was going to be a while before I got back to Bloodborne. But I have been playing it again. I kicked Father Gascoigne's ass. He's a pain in the ass. And that guy was really holding back all the fun of Bloodborne. I gotta say, if you're like me and you tried Bloodborne and you quit when you played Gascoigne, if you beat him, the game becomes more fun. Literally, some side quests open up. That game really is the shit. I'm loving it. It does remind me of an old NES game. It kind of reminds me of Castlevania 2, in fact. Almost just as cryptic, too. I mean, you needed Nintendo Power to beat that fucking game, but it was fun, and I loved it as a kid. And, Bloodborne's bringing back that old NES feeling. I love it. More on that later. Because, yeah, I really do love it, so it's the shit. So I'm sorry I badmouthed it the other day, although I still maintain that both Dark Souls and Bloodborne really could use a little bit more incentive and motivation to keep you going, although Bloodborne is becoming very, very interesting just some of the mystery that's going on. A lot like I said, Resident Evil 1, you wanted to know what was going on. Bloodborne, there's some of that going on. You want to know what's going on. And a little bit more so than Castlevania 2. That game, oh my god. There was nothing in Castlevania 2 that told you that that stake you found wasn't for staking vampires. It was for throwing it at that crystal. That one crystal in that one part of the game. Alright? There was nothing. There was no NPC. There were NPCs, but they didn't tell you anything like that. There was nothing helpful in it. The instruction manual didn't tell you jack shit about it. There was nothing also to tell you that you needed to crouch in that one little corner of that one area for however many fucking seconds until that magic tornado showed up to whisk you away to the area you needed to be at. Okay? There was nothing to tell you that in that game. Alright? That's why I say, you needed Nintendo Power to figure out that game, because you literally... just the odds of you discovering on your own how to beat that game are just... It came down to dumb luck. If anybody beat it without Nintendo Power, I'd sure like to meet you, because I think you're probably some kind of idiot savant who figured that shit out on his own just by happenstance. I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that From Software, the developers of Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I feel like they're probably huge fans. Miyazaki-san, especially, the head honcho there. I think he's a huge fan of those NES games, and I think he wanted to recapture that feeling, but because it is a modern-day game, you will have the added benefits of, full voice acting, and the voice acting is actually pretty great, too. It's just too bad nobody's lips move. Forgot to add that little detail. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't in the budget. Maybe we just... They decided that killer AI on the enemies was better than moving lips, I guess. But that's a minor gripe. Yeah, I think they wanted to recapture that feeling of what the fuck do I do in this game next? Oh my god. Where do I go? But they knew they could get away with it because we now live in the digital age where people can just get on the internet and look up what to do. I think they rely too much on that, frankly. One of the things that I think supports my theory about that is if I want a strategy guide for Bloodborne, I'm going to have to fucking get it on Amazon because they didn't really put one in retail stores, okay? It just wasn't there. I've seen one for Dark Souls 3 now, so maybe they learned their lesson. But Bloodborne, no. I could not fucking find a strategy guide anywhere. And but there is one, and it's on Amazon. It's a collector's edition. It's fucking $60. Okay. There's also a digital guide. I went ahead and got that, but that's no fun to read because it's on a computer screen or on your TV. But yeah, again, that supports my theory because they're like, go on the internet. Other players, they've probably beat that part you're at, so yeah, they knew you could just do that. Otherwise, this game would not be forgivable. I think too many people would have a problem with it if it weren't for the fact that People would just get on the internet and find out for themselves. If the internet wasn't there for them, nobody would play these games. Honestly, for you fans of Dark Souls and Bloodborne out there, how many of you never consulted the internet even once? I'll bet you there's not many of you. So think about that. So yeah, I'm on to you, From Software. I know what your fucking game is. And then look how much of an asshole this guy is. Alright, this was the second boss of the game. Oh, I found out later that first boss was fucking optional. Oh, okay. But yeah, look at this asshole. Oh my god. But I'm loving it though. It's a great game. I love it. It's awesome. You know what, Rebecca? While you're doing that, I'm gonna go raid the liquor cabinet, or find a wine cellar somewhere. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Yeah, she's taking too long, so we're gonna head back into town and maybe stop by Jay's bar, her favorite watering hole. Maybe chat up Cindy, that waitress. She's pretty cute. But not talk to Alyssa though. She deceived me. I bought her a few drinks and then she mentioned she was a reporter, and then it just started to feel like an interview. So fuck her. I'll let Kevin maybe talk to her. He can be my wingman. Yeah, but first we're gonna need some new duds. I can't just go in, uniform. I gotta look stylish. There's this nice, convenient little closet. Tuxedo's a little too formal. Let's go casual. Yeah. Alright. Now we are all set to go. That used to be the only way to change costumes, by the way. And even then, it had to be done on a second playthrough. Now, you can, from the character select screen, do that. Let's go ahead and put away our gun. We don't want to set anybody off. But yeah, that used to be the only way to change your costume. With this remastered version, you can now just select the costume from the character select screen. But they left that in anyway, which was nice. Let's get the hell out of here, huh? Yep. Shit. That's why I was in here. That's why I was in this mansion. I didn't want to be in, because the dogs chased us in. Yeah, I knew there was something. I forgot. Fucking hell. So naturally, this clip is newer than the clips I was just now showing you, because I realized I still didn't have a clip that showed what happens if you tried to leave from the front door. If you played the original ones, you remember what happened, don't you? There was a nice little, now crappy CG sequence of a dog trying to get its way in, and then you close the door on it, and then you couldn't do that again. It would just read, it's too dangerous to go outside. Well, not so in this game. They'll let you actually let a dog come in. Oh, it's about time, Rebecca. Took ages.
Practice makes perfect.
Oh my. Alright, so this is where this opens up thankfully the exact same item it was is in here in the original, as in the original game. This, however, is a new edition. Trevor's Diary, as in George Trevor, as in the architect of this mansion, as in the guy that actually fucking built this labyrinth of bullshit with all the traps and just bullshit. Yeah, this is the guy that designed the house, Sir Spencer, owner of the house, hired him to make it a whole clusterfuck. To hide all kinds of secrets and keys and this and that. Well, they gave him a little bit of a bigger part to play in this game, although I mean he's not in the game himself. But they really they didn't even have to. But I'm glad they did. I'm glad they delved even deeper into the origins of the mansion and Umbrella in this game, and nice little additions like this where George Trevor actually has. You feel for the guy. It fucking sucks. And in this one, in this note here, he explains how he was trapped in here, and he realizes, well, fuck, I'm the one who knows all the secrets of the mansion, so I guess I'm gonna die. I guess Sir Spencer doesn't want someone like me out there to reveal all the secrets. Oh, and right here, he tells you about that secret closet also. He also mentions just some of the booby traps. Actually, no, correction. He doesn't in this one. And a later note you find by George Trevor, he tells you about the closet. So yeah, if you take that gold emblem, you are locked in here, just like in the original game. But luckily, there was that other emblem that you found in the dining room above that fireplace where the blood was, and you just fit that into that fitting right there, and you'll be just fine.
Were you all right in there?
Yeah.
Now, the new emblem you get is going to do the same thing it did in the last game, which is well, you put it here. That's what you did in the original game, even. However, in the original game, the clock used to slide out, and then you'd get the shield key. Oh no, it's not that simple. Now you have to actually move the clock hands on the clock, and then using this painting right here, have the sword and the long sword and the short sword correspond with the the long hand and the short hand on the clock. It's pretty simple to figure out. I'm not gonna put you through it. I'm just gonna show you. So as soon as you start the puzzle, I will say that the large gear moves the shorter hand and the small gear moves the longer hand. So once that happens, it chimes, and then boom, now it slides open. You get the same item you got in the original game, the shield key. And if you remember what you did with the shield key, it's going to be used the exact same way. That key only opens one door, and that's that really scary door where we found Richard. And that leads to a boss fight, the first boss fight of Resident Evil, Yawn the Giant Snake. Just on the off chance, if you actually been using my videos to actually help you with your own playthrough, you'll already know that we still haven't gotten rid of the sword key. So let's go ahead and go use that on the final door, which is going to be the that door in my very first video. Well, actually, I didn't even show you the door. You remember those stairs? And I was like, nah, I don't want to go down there. The real reason I didn't want to go down there is because I already knew the door was locked. But now I'll actually get to show you what that room is down the stairs. And it was added to this remake. It was not in the original 1996 version. In fact, the elevator was... Yeah, the elevator's here, and there was an elevator in the original one, but it didn't turn. This hallway didn't turn like this. It was just at the end there was a wall, and there was the elevator. So here's the door. Doesn't look, ominous or foreboding or anything, does it? Yeah, it kind of does. It doesn't help either that this is like one of the most unsettling rooms in this game. Just the whole thing. This is the kitchen. I guess the designers, when doing the remake, realized, there's a dining room and there's, a bathroom, but there wasn't a kitchen in the first game. Well, we should probably put a kitchen. You would assume Sir Spencer had, cooks and chefs and things like that. So yeah, they finally put a kitchen, and now it's down here, and there's rotted meat everywhere. There's a zombie on the ground, which you can't lock onto. There's a handgun magazine down here, though, so make sure you grab that. And yeah, everything's... It's the music. It's also, doesn't help the situation. But yeah, this room was added to this game. It wasn't in the original version. But it does. It actually does connect to other areas in the game you'll come to later. And then there's that elevator. Yeah, so you'll see this room again when we actually have to come back through it. Which the only way to do that is from deeper underground, so let that sink in for you. The other cool thing, though, about this room is, well, this. Oh, now the other zombie decides to move. Oh, yeah, perfect timing. So, yeah, that's, that happened. That was new and terrifying the first time it happened. It's also very reminiscent of a similar happening in Resident Evil 2. Although, in my opinion, when it happened in Resident Evil 2, it was way worse because you start the door opening animation. It actually starts the door opening animation, and then it shows a zombie coming into the room with you, toward you. So yeah, and that makes it, 10 times worse. This was cool too, though, because it was, FMV. Well, not FMV, but CG scene. And this right here, I'm gonna save some bullets here. This is a nice, easy way to save bullets. I've told you about it. Let the zombie grab you and just quickly mash buttons to escape, and you will instantly crush its head. Man, speaking of saving ammo, I really lament them nerfing the shotgun, because, man, that was your bread and butter in the original version. Just to show you what I was talking about, though. Imagine this animation right here, but as soon as you pull open the door, there's a zombie, and then it starts walking towards you. That's what it did to you in Resident Evil 2. Fucking sucked. But it only happens in that one room, and that room is optional in Resident Evil 2, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's some ammo and supplies and things like that, but didn't really need to go in there. There was nothing crucial. Alright, so we're going to need to prep for the fight with Yawn. Yawn is in, Y-A-W-N. I guess it's a reference to, the snake opening its mouth, because it opens it real wide, like when you yawn. I guess that's... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why he's named that. So here's what I meant by prepping. There were some shotgun shells here in this little graveyard area that we missed. I missed it completely. And actually, if you're playing this on normal, you won't miss it because you can see a zombie off in the distance there. There's an extra zombie. Yeah, there's zombies out here on normal difficulty, which... God, it pisses me off because I would have let you know. And you would have seen it for yourself. But no, they couldn't just give you easy, normal, hard, so I ended up playing it on easy. Completely by accident. By the way, if you do go down there and into the kitchen and get, the handgun bullets, and you leave those zombies, make sure they're either burned or their heads are gone, because you will, like I said, be coming back through there later. And you don't want crimson heads to be waiting for you. Alright, so this is like I said, scary door. I referred to it as scary door. You saw how it looked. It's fucking terrifying. Yeah, and make sure to equip your shotgun, because Yeah, look at him. Fucking huge. Now, I was personally never afraid of snakes. I always kind of thought snakes were fucking cool. Kind of thought all reptiles are, actually. So for some of you, I'm sure this is like super stupid terrifying, but no, snakes just aren't one of those things I'm afraid of. Yeah, it sucks that they're poisonous, some of them are, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. I just like reptiles. Never was afraid of those. Yeah, and this fight's not really hard. I recommend using the analog stick though, because you're gonna want to get away from the snake. In all boss fights, really, the analog stick is your friend. Except right there, I don't know if you noticed, but I was running away and then quickly turned back toward him. That's because of the fucking fixed camera angle change. So yeah, in times like that, the tank controls, you know where you're going when you're using the tank control. By the way, notice that the music stopped. That means you won. Don't do what I just did right there and waste a shot. Because he's on his way out, he's gonna run away, and then you'll have to face him later for round 2. And this is the final death mask, by the way. And at this point, when I was playing the game, I was out of ink ribbons. And as soon as you use that final death mask, you have a showdown with the Crimson Head Elder. So that meant I was going to have to power through 2 boss fights. And some change. And then this happens.
Poison.
Chris!
I need serum.
Serum. I remember seeing it. I'll be right back. Just hang in there.
Oh, well, of course you remember seeing it. You had told me about it in the first place, and then I had to go get it and bring it back to you so that we could save Richard. Yeah, in here it does this again, and I feel like this was their way of saying, like, I guess they assumed you didn't save Richard's life, and so they're showing you the map again. It's like, you got this, dumbass? You paying attention? Huh? Let's see how well you pay attention when the main character's life is on the line. Go find that serum, for God's sake. Or we'll make you play as Rebecca for the entire rest of the game. No, not really. That doesn't happen. You just die, and then have to start over your last save game. And I guess it's a good idea to see if that serum's actually gonna work by checking on the other guy we administered it to. By the way, this entire scenario is avoidable. Just don't get bit by the snake.
How you feeling?
What happened?
You were bitten by a poisonous snake and fell unconscious. Easy.
Oh, my head's killing me.
You should be fine, because I gave you a shot of serum. But again, don't do anything...
That you wouldn't do? I'll try to remember that. I owe you one.
And I guess this is as good a place as any to stop. I know I said I'd stop making them really long, but this is the 10th episode, so I wanted it to be, you know, kind of special.
Oh, thank God I made it in time.
Yeah, no shit.